45th President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
Hello, everybody, and hello, Michigan. Very great place. We had some great victories there, I will tell you that. But that was one in particular. We appreciate it. We have to do it again. We're building a lot of car plants and brought back a lot of industry that nobody thought they'd ever see again. But we're doing great with the cars. I have other plants we'll be announcing very shortly. We got plenty of activity in Michigan. It's been an incredible period of time. But also, I want to welcome Central Michigan because we have, as you know, through John Molinar, your great congressman, we've done something that people are very happy about. The Edenville Dam broke, and it was a disaster, and so I signed a major disaster declaration, $43 million, and I think that's actually going to be a little bit higher than that when it's done, but we're going to take care of those people that are great people, and the work has already started. So it's an honor to be on the phone with you. I know a lot of the folks from the area there. They got pretty well flooded out, but we'll be taking care of it. Something we didn't have to do, but we are doing it. So I just welcome everybody from that area and Michigan generally. I'm thrilled to be with you and talking to you on the phone today. Normally I do it through a rally, but because of COVID, where we're doing a great job with ventilators and everything else, so we're going to beat it. A lot of areas of our country now are in great shape, and we're doing the best testing anywhere in the world, by far the best. We're up to over 50 million tests. Nobody thought that was possible, but we're doing a job. But we'll talk about that in a little while. But I'm thrilled to be talking to everybody about the critical decision facing Michigan and our country this November. The election is a choice between our movement of American patriots, people that truly love our country. They want to build up America. They want to keep American history and culture and keep it just what it was, but better. And that's what was happening. And it's happening now, but it was happening, and we had to close it up, and now we're rebuilding it again, and it's going at a record pace. Job numbers and retail sale numbers are at a record, but we're doing it again. But the other side, that's Joe Biden. I really say it's his handlers because I don't think Joe knows, but Joe Biden handlers, and they're very radical left-wing people. The Biden people, they want to destroy our police forces, tear down our history, and they want to demolish our economy. And we just can't have that. We can't have that, what they're doing. If you look at Portland tonight, if you take a look at what's going on there, and I sent in the great people from the border and ICE and many other agencies, and we set them back big, very big league, as they would say, where we're doing a real job. A lot of arrests and a lot of things are happening in Portland. And frankly, the politicians are against it. It's been going on for a long time. They're ripping down Portland, Oregon, and ripping it down. And we sent them in. We're not taking it. We're going to be looking very strongly at Chicago. We did a good job with Seattle. We were getting ready to go in the following day, and the police heard about it. Everybody heard about it. They sent them in. The police were good in Seattle, but they weren't allowed to do their job. So we're looking at a lot of these places run by very radical left politicians, Democrats in all cases. And we are doing what we have to do. We keep our country strong. Passed a very important piece of paper. Well, I sent a very important, you would call it an act, and it was very, very strong on statues and monuments, and you go to jail for 10 years if you rip them down. That's anything federal. The states have to get smart and do it too, but they've stopped with the federal. You haven't seen anything happen for a long time because they go to jail for 10 years. We had no choice. We had to pass that. But I've been fighting for the hardworking patriots of Michigan and every place else in this country. We had the best business we've ever had. We had the best numbers, best employment, best unemployment, best everything, best stock market numbers, which, by the way, are going to be, I think, even higher now very soon. NASDAQ's already higher. Your 401ks, hopefully you're right in the same position you were, but you're right now, you're going to be topping where you were even as we fight the pandemic, and we'll be you'll be seeing very good numbers over the next 4 or 5 weeks on that. You'll be seeing tremendous numbers on vaccines and therapeutics. But we built 250 miles of wall. You remember that was a campaign promise. 250 miles of wall, and we're stopping the flow of drugs and crime and illegal immigration. We have a tremendous, we've done a tremendous job. The wall's going to be finished right around the end of the year, a little bit after that. We fought the radical left politicians in Washington, and we ended up winning. We got it fully taken care of, and it's under construction. I think we're up through 254 miles right now, and it'll be finished shortly after the end of the year. It's had a tremendous impact. Very, very few people are getting through, and we have, through good negotiation, Mexico has got 27,000 troops on our border. You notice that the cartels have having a hard time, but the caravans have stopped. If you remember, we had thousands and thousands of people pouring up in caravans. We don't allow that. We stopped them from Guatemala, from Honduras, from El Salvador. We stopped them in Mexico. And you don't see the caravans anymore. Very dangerous to the people, frankly, in the caravan. We've deported over 16,000 gang members. We've arrested 2,000 MS-13 members. This is very important for the people in Michigan and for people in the suburbs of Michigan and just the people in our country. 2,000 MS-13 members, and it's said to be the toughest of all the gangs. We don't know about that, but we have done a real number on them. And we're now prosecuting many of the MS-13 leaders on charges of terrorism, which had never been done before, to defend the great people of Michigan and farms and ranchers and all of the businesses and the manufacturing, and most importantly, I think for you, the automobile business. We've officially replaced the disaster known as NAFTA with the brand new USMCA. The USMCA is expected to create hundreds of thousands of new automotive jobs in the next few years, and a lot of those jobs are going to Michigan. You know that. You see all of the plants that have been built, and you see all of the plants that have been expanding in Michigan. I received years ago, I guess 10 years ago, the Man of the Year in Michigan. And I got up and I said, how do you let other countries take your jobs? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I wasn't a student of Michigan at the time. I loved the state, loved the people, have a lot of friends, but I wasn't a student. But I did know that you were losing your automobile business. Actually, 32% of it went down. Right now, Mexico has 32% of our business. They were taking our plants and everything else in historic levels, and I stopped it. It's been stopped. And now you're going to see a lot of activity coming back in and coming back into Michigan in particular, but also other states within our great country. I stood up to China, and all of the historic tariffs that I've put on have had a tremendous impact. We've taken in hundreds of billions. We're taking in tens of billions of dollars. I gave much of it to farmers, workers, but farmers, 12 billion and 16 billion, 28 billion total. So, you know, they were targeted, and I was able to do that, and it solved a lot of things. China had the worst year they've had in 67 years prior to the Chinese virus coming in, prior to the pandemic, prior to whatever you want. You have many names you can call it. You can call it lots of different names, but it's all the same thing. They should have stopped it. They should have stopped it at their borders, and they didn't. They chose not to, I guess, because they largely stopped it going into China, but not going to Europe, the U.S., and the rest of the world. So we're going to hold them accountable for that. But we've had the best year we've ever had and the best couple of years we've ever had, and now we're rebuilding at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Our job numbers are the best ever, the best on record. Almost 5 million jobs last month, and the month before that was a record until we just broke it last month. So it's been really amazing. We are marshaling all of our efforts to defeat the virus and do it quickly. And the vaccines and the therapeutics are coming along, as I said, very, very rapidly. We expect to have 100 million doses of vaccine available, certainly before the end of the year, but we think we're going to have therapeutically or through vaccine something announced long before even that, and we're ready logistically to take it and run with it. Through the Paycheck Protection Program, we've provided billions of dollars to Michigan and their small businesses, and that's been great. After years of devastating budget cuts, we rebuilt our military, $2.5 trillion. It's in the best condition it's ever been in. We have new tanks and planes and ships, missiles, all well-deserved pay raises. We've had 3 pay raises, and I think very importantly, all built in the USA. All of the new equipment, whether it's tanks or planes or ships or missiles or anything you want to talk about, it's built in the USA. So that's been great. And very importantly for our vets, we have choice. Everyone said getting veterans choice was impossible. So if a veteran has to wait online for any period of time, they go outside, they get a doctor, we pay the bill, and our veteran gets taken care of. Everyone said that was impossible. Sounds simple, it wasn't. They've been trying to get it for 50 years. I got it done, and I got accountability done. Veterans accountability. This is where you had sadists, you had thieves, you had some very bad people working at the VA. They weren't able to fire them. Now we fired them. We fired over 9,000 people that were bad for our veterans, people that took that were abusive and terrible. We're now able to get bad people. We want them to love our vets and respect our vets. We will have appointed a record number by the end of the year of federal judges, close to 300 federal judges. That's a record, including 2 great new Supreme Court justices, Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. And I think very importantly, when you're looking to vote on November 3rd, it's going to be very important because the Supreme Court, if it goes radical left, and that's what they will put on there, radical left. It'll affect many things, including your Second Amendment, including abortion, including a lot of different things will have a huge impact. So I think it's going to be, as it was in the last election, we had 2 choices. The next president could have anywhere from 1, 2, 3, or even 4 choices on the Supreme Court. 4 justices. So I think that's a very big fact. We passed the largest package of tax cuts in the history of our country. We passed the largest number of regulation cuts by far in the history of our country. That's one of the reasons our jobs can come back. We ended the U.S. Waters Act. If you look at that act they took, and a lot of people from Michigan were affected very seriously by that. They took your land away. They took your life away. And we're fighting for school choice, and Biden wants to end that. We have a very strong belief that every parent in America should be empowered to send their child to the school of their choice. Second Amendment, very important. Biden and the radical Democrats would destroy your Second Amendment, and they'll destroy America's economy, America's security, and American way of life. They'll destroy our military. They'll destroy our VA. You look at what they're doing. You look at their plans. It's not even to be thought about. Look, there's never been a decision more important than the decision you're about to make, November 3rd. Get out and vote. And be careful with your mail-in ballots if we have to go that way. A lot of court cases going on right now. But be careful because they're sent out by the millions, and it's a very dangerous thing. Absentee ballots are good. You have to go through a process. That's good. But mail-in ballots, you got to be very careful. Let's see what happens in the courts. But Biden and these people are looking to do things that are absolutely destructive of our economy. As you know, he supported NAFTA, TPP, which would have been a disaster. Chorus, that's in Korea. I renegotiated it, made it great for us. And China's entry into the World Trade Organization, which was a disaster for our country. They're given all sorts of advantages that we don't have, but we've largely clamped down on that. He voted for the war in Iraq, and he voted for mass amnesty. And now Joe Biden supports raising your taxes by a lot, packing your courts with radical left judges, indoctrinating our children to hate America. You look at what they're teaching in schools, and opening our borders. And some of the key elements to what Biden and the radical left, they got together with Sanders, Bernie Sanders. He's another beauty. They got together, and I just got this list, but I'm going to read a couple of the things off because what they are doing is not what the people of Michigan are going to accept. They want to abolish borders, abolish immigration detention, stop all deportations. Think of that one. We catch criminals and they want to stop. Right now, we bring them back to their countries where they came from, or in some cases, we prosecute them in our own courts. They want to stop deportations, end prosecution of illegal border crosses. They want to support the horrible sanctuary cities. It's a way of protecting criminals. Incentivize illegal alien, child smuggling, and women smuggling, because what they're doing will make illegal alien. If you take a look at this, if you look at the smuggling, that's a big thing now because of the internet. It's bigger than ever before, having to do with women and children because of the internet. You think of it as an ancient crime. It's not ancient. It's because of the internet. It's bigger than ever before, all over the world, not just here. They want to expand asylum for all illegal aliens. They want taxpayer-funded lawyers at the highest level for illegal aliens. They want to abolish immigration enforcement against illegal workers. So they want all immigration. They want immigration enforcement they want to abolish it against illegal workers. Grant work permits to illegal aliens. Not even believable, some of the things you're going to hear. They want to provide taxpayer subsidies and welfare for illegal aliens and new immigrants. In many cases, this would be more than our own citizens are getting, and substantially. And what it's going to do is bring tens of millions of people to our country, and we can't have it. Government health care for all illegal aliens. So everyone's going to come to America, you get free government health care. That's what it really means. Federal student aid and free community college for illegal aliens. We don't get that for our own people. They want to sign new immigrants up for welfare immediately and maximize all welfare payments. Massively expand immigration during a global pandemic, which we're in now, taking jobs from unemployed Americans. End all travel bans. We won the big travel ban, but they want to end all travel bans. We won it in the United States Supreme Court, 5-4, which tells you again how important it is to keep the court and win the court, including from jihadist regions. So we have bans that we're allowed to put on, given by the Supreme Court. Jihadist regions, if that's the case, they want to end all travel bans. They want to grant mass amnesty. These are just some of the things in the very long document that was approved between Joe Biden's camp, because I doubt he ever read it, and the Bernie Sanders group and AOC and that group of beauties. Increase refugee admission 700%, abolish law enforcement as we know it. They want to end cash bail, releasing dangerous criminals onto the streets. No cash bail. Abolish the death penalty. Appoint social justice prosecutors to free violent criminals, and that would be reducing our police forces down to a very low number. They want to seek prison closures so that we don't have very many prisons anymore. End solitary confinement. Free federal housing for former inmates so that inmates can have nice, posh housing. Abolish energy. Rejoin the very expensive, prohibitively, trillions of dollars ultimately, rejoin the Paris Climate Accord. This would have been a disaster for our country, to the benefit of many other countries. They want to rejoin the Paris Accord. I ended it because I said it's a ripoff to the United States. They want to mandate net zero carbon emissions for homes, offices, and all new buildings by the year 2030. They want to mandate zero carbon emissions for power plants. They want to mandate net zero carbon emissions overall. That would make it impossible economically for people to live in our country. Your electrical costs and your utility costs would go up maybe 8 or 9 times more expensive. Ridiculous. They want to abolish school choice, end school choice, abolish all charter schools. They want to abolish educational standards, and they want to enforce a horrible situation on our suburbs. The men and women that have fought so hard to live in a beautiful area, they want to enforce Obama-Biden's radical AFFH regulation that threatens to strip localities of federal affordable housing funds unless they change their zoning laws to fit the federal government's demands. And I'm going to be eliminating, I've already announced it, eliminating the AFFH regulation. It's a disaster. And I think the suburbs will be very happy. This has been going on for years. Housing prices go down, crime goes up. It's ridiculous. So we have a situation in Michigan, but all over the country, where there's never been a difference like this. We're going to keep America great. We're going to keep our standards. We're going to keep our history and our culture. And we're going to be proud of the people that built our country. And they want to be just the opposite. They want to go socialism plus. And that's going to ultimately, and it can happen here just like it happened in Venezuela and many other places, it will lead to a failed country. And you can see that. Look at what's going on tonight in Portland. And if we didn't have our people there, that place would be overrun and a disaster. It would be occupied. And I just want to thank all the people, the law enforcement that's in Portland right now. But I want to thank also the people of Michigan for giving me that big victory in 2016. It was a big factor when Michigan came in. And I've rewarded you by getting you a lot of car plants, a lot of jobs, by giving you the 3 best economic years that you've ever had. And we're going to continue to work with your governor, and we're going to continue to work with all of the people that we have to do. We are working with her. Sometimes we don't want to, and we disagree with many of the things she's doing, but we will continue to work with her. We're also working, quite honestly, around her, and we have to do that because what she wants to do is not going to be good for the state. But we'll work with her when we have to, because we have to do positive things for your state. It's a great state. It's a state that we love, and it's a state that I very much appreciate. That was an incredible victory. So regardless of who's governor, we're going to be there, and we're going to be with you. We're going to be fighting with you. We're going to continue to bring in massive car plants and lots of other industry from a lot of different countries, including the fact that we still have, because of what I've done, we have people not leaving Michigan with their plants, whether it's automobile or otherwise. So I want to thank everybody for being on the call. I love the state of Michigan, and we're going to take care of your state. And I hope in November you're going to get to the polls and you're going to be voting for a person that will do a great job for our country. We have all of your values, and we know exactly what you're looking for. And thank you. We have a tremendous number of people on the call. I want to thank you all for being on the call. I want to get out there and do the rally as soon as we can, and we will be doing that. Between COVID and your governor's restrictions, it really makes it very difficult, but we'll be out there eventually. But in the meantime, we're doing it telephonically. I appreciate everybody for being on the call. Thank you very much.